How to install a TMP valve for your hot water heater. First, what is a TMP valve? A TMP valve um, is a temperature and pressure. So if the temperature gets too high or the pressure gets too high, then this valve here, this little flapper should come up. There's a spring thing in here, and water and pressure should start to relieve here. As one can note, the arrow here. So this side here, now keep in mind this is a 3/4 male fitting, and inside of here is a 3/4 female fitting. So this side goes into the tank. Obviously use Teflon. You can use a little Teflon here if you want. A lot of times this is not extremely high pressure. This side is. So anyway, what happens when you change this? Now there are two scenarios. Keep in mind and take note here. Good, noteworthy to grab a pencil or pen and jot this down if you would like. Some of these are located on top of the hot water heater. Some of these are located on the side of the hot water heater or hot water heaters, plural, singular, plural, whichever one chooses. So, question is, what difference does it make? Actually, it makes a lot of difference in my opinion. The reason is, first, turn the hot water heater off, is my assessment. And if it's an electric hot water heater, be sure, in my opinion, go throw the breaker. It should be normally for a residential home a 30 amp breaker, which is on a number 10 wire, number 10 gauge wire. So 30 amp breaker. So make sure all electricity is off if it's an electric. Then if it's on top of the hot water heater, at this point, take your pipe wrench and undo this and screw it and simply pull it out. Now, if this TMP valve is on the side, now if there's another name for this valve, please add this in the comments. So I'm not the guru here, but I have changed a few in my life. So basically, if this is on the side of the tank, it depends on where it's at. One may need to actually drain the water down a little bit, because if the water is in the house, it may not be a bad idea. If it's underneath the house, it's not that bad of an idea. But if it's a slab house, if it's underneath the house, one may need to drain the water level down below this, simply because when one takes the pipe wrench and removes this TMP valve from the hot water heater and pulls it out, what's going to happen? The water from the hot water heater is going to gush out. So, and if worst case scenario could be in a second floor in a closet and white plush carpet, which is not a good configuration. So drain the hot water heater down below this point. Simply get this TMP valve. Now here's another noteworthy point. When one gets the TMP valve and takes it to the supply house to get another one, they may say universal, they may not. But try, in my opinion, to get the physical size of what you've got. Match apples and apples and oranges to oranges. Because have been occasions, in my opinion, where I have actually come across the TMP valve, and somehow the length of this, it prohibits from going into the water heater or turning it or something. I can't recall. It's been so long ago. But my opinion is, if I only had one choice, I would make sure this little area here is a little bit longer. So they make a longer one, a shorter one. But if you can get what you can get and you can match the size up, And so this is the reason I would take this, because they may say universal, but sometimes universal may be correct, or it may not work in your situation. It depends on the situation. So if you get the correct one, then you should be fine. So then once you get it, put some Teflon tape here, take your pipe wrench, screw it back in tightly to where it doesn't leak. Hook up the drain side here, and as one sees, this side here goes into the tank. The air goes up, the air goes out. So if this relieves, the pressure should come out of here, and the water should come out of here if the temperature and pressure get too high. So again, once you get this, take it with you, especially if you're in the country and you have to drive 10 miles to get something. You do not want, in my opinion, to drive 10 miles, get back home, and realize you've got something that's not going to work in that scenario. And one other thing, do not ever put a plug back in here in place of this, in my opinion. My opinion is when the TMP valve needs to be changed, it needs to be with a TMP valve, because it needs a way to relieve the temperature and pressure from the hot water heater. You do not want that pressure building up with no place to go. It's like it would be, an analogy is, if you put too much air in a balloon, eventually it's going to pop. So make sure that when you change the TMP, to go back with a TMP valve that fits your unit, that works. And so if you can measure the physical size up here, that's all the better. If not, my assessment is, in my opinion, is the longer the neck, that gives you more room out there. But so anyway, simply screw this in with Teflon tape, and screw it into the tank, and you should be fine. And so tighten it down to where it does not leak. Don't try to over tighten it, but tighten it down to where it does not leak. And this should be, I think this should be down here, because if the spring pops in here, something, this will come up and then the water will come out. So this is a simple way to, it's not a difficult job, but do keep in mind when actually changing it, if this is on the side of the tank or if it's on the top, you should be fine once the tank's turned off, the 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 power, the gas, or whatnot. But if this is on the side, the water level needs to be drained down below this, unless you don't mind water. Now, if you take it out and water comes out, it's not that big of a deal if it doesn't bother you, if it stains your carpet or drains out. So it will drain down below the hole, and once it drains down below the hole, it will stop. But better yet, better take a hose pipe and a bucket and go down to the bottom and drain the water level down below to where this fits into the tank, and then change it at that point. Again, this is a 3/4 fitting, a male fitting on this side, which goes into the hot water tank, and this is a female, which the pressure goes, and as one can see the error. This is how a simple way to change a TMP, temperature and pressure valve. Thank you for watching, and have a great day.